Good evening, everyone. Okay, don't get confused. Uh, Actually, your teacher Akshmala is not feeling well. That's why I am taking this class. Okay, let me know whether am I audible or not. How many of you have joined? We will wait for few more minutes for more persons. Okay, Sargam is saying yes, sir. I am audible. Everyone, please confirm. Is my screen visible to everyone? Okay, so we will discuss gravitation in this session. You have studied, I have a report that you have studied Kepler's law, basics of gravitation law. Confirm, is it true? You have studied law of gravitation, right? So what we will start, we will just recall gravitation law. Payal also joined. Okay. Abhay, Sargam, Riya, and Payal. Okay. So we will start the session now. Okay, done. So first of all, we will recall, and you need to be responsive during the session so that I can understand you are getting everything clear. So first of all, we will recall some basic things, and I may ask some questions to you during the session. Okay. First thing, you have studied Kepler's law, so I am not going. That was way behind the time. Malti, welcome to the class. Okay. So if I talk about gravitation law, what you have studied for any 2 point masses, I'm saying point masses. I am saying point masses. What is the gravitation law? If there are 2 point masses, M1 and M2, separated by a certain separation R, then the force, let's suppose this is mass A, this is mass B, then the force between them is G M1 M2 by R square. Can anyone confirm, is it true? This is the law of gravitation. Now, what are the punchlines here? Few punchlines here. This force is always attractive. Do you know this thing? Say yes or no. Be responsive during the class. This force is always attractive. You know this point, I hope. Next punchline is, okay, Ria is saying yes, sir. Okay, next punchline is what I say. Can you tell me force on A due to B? Can anyone pronounce it? What is this written as? FAB is what? Force on A due to B. Or I will write more precise term, that is, it follows third law of motion. What is third law of motion? Every action has equal and opposite reaction. What does it mean? It means the force exerted by A on B, that means, or you can write it as force exerted on A due to B is equals to force on B due to A. And if you write in the vector notations, this force will be equal but with opposite direction. Clear? Okay. I have confirmed you. Ankit has joined. Very good, Ankit. So this is another point. Next point, if I say what is the next punchline, you can conclude here. This law is valid for point masses only. You can say valid for point mass only. Another good thing is that you should know, or you have learned it in the work energy chapter, that there are certain conservative and non-conservative forces. Do you know what are conservative forces? Anyone? Ankit, Payal, Riya, Unnati. Anybody knows what are conservative forces? So this is a conservative force. What are conservative forces? If you know, then you can write it, yes, sir. Or you can mention some special thing about conservative force. If you don't know, you can ask me. I will describe what are conservative forces. I think this is clear to everyone. Okay. Should I move ahead? Sargam has joined. Okay. So after knowing all these things, we will move further for the recall of the questions. We will recall some questions. Okay, so there is a very first question on your screen. I will give you some 1 minute of time and you should answer. You have some 40 seconds to answer. Please try to be responsive, try to solve. Do you have pen and paper with you? Question says there is a mass placed at A, another mass at B. These masses are 2 kg and 4 kg. Separation is just 1 meter. And you need to calculate FAB and FBA. What is FAB? FAB means force on A due to B. Are you solving? Say at least yes or no. Are you solving this question? Say yes or no. What is the answer? Don't. Okay, Ria is saying she is solving. Okay, I am waiting for some more 20 seconds. Okay, look at that. Look at the solution. If I say force on A due to B, Vishal. Force on A due to B. You know the formula F is equals to G. Can anyone tell me the answer? Don't put the value of G. Keep it simple in terms of G. FAB is equals to G. M1, M2 is the product of masses. If you do the product of masses, it will be 2 into 4, that will be 8. Divided by separation square is 1 square, that is 1. Now the interesting thing is what will be the direction. Now the reason behind it, why I have given this question to you, I just want to know the direction, that if you know the direction. Kruti, anybody knows the direction? Can anyone answer? What will be the direction of this force? Force is a vector quantity. It must have some direction. So question is force on A due to B. This is our A. Who is exerting the force? B is exerting the force. So we know that this force is attractive in nature. So B will try to attract A. So B will try to pull A towards it. So this is the direction of force. B is pulling A. So what will be the direction? That direction will be A to B. That direction will be A to B. Listen to me. Try to learn the direction the way I am telling you. Next is force on B due to A. If you write it as again, you will say G. Product of masses is again 2 into 4, that is 8. Separation is again 1. Now this time you need to calculate force on B. You need to calculate force on B. If I change the color of the pen, something like that, this is B. I have kept in a box. This is B. Who is exerting force? A. A will attract it. A will attract it. So if A is attracting it, that means the direction of force will be something like that. And this arrow is towards B to A. So you can write the direction as B to A. B to A. Now, what is the trick here? You can notice that what is the trick? You are writing FAB. Direction is A to B. You are writing FBA. Direction is B to A. And if in the same way somewhere it is mentioned as FCA, then direction will be definitely from C to A. You can directly write it here. Is it clear to everyone? The force is attractive in nature. How we can find the direction of this force is mentioned here. Again, after knowing the direction, you can see that force AB and force BA both are equal in magnitude, but the direction is opposite to each other. That's what we have learned, that it follows Newton's third law. Next thing I am asking, do you know that this law follows principle of superposition? This law follows principle of superposition. Do you know that I can write another punchline? It follows principle of superposition. Principle of superposition. What is principle of superposition? Anybody? Anybody knows what is principle of superposition? You are not responding. In this way, the class is not going to happen. You need to be responsive. You need to answer in the chat box. Or if you want, I can open your microphones or your mics so that you can answer. Just tell me what's your opinion about that. Do you know what is principle of superposition or not? Do I need to explain it? Am I audible to everyone? Na? Is it? Okay. Jadeja. Okay, explain it. Unnati is saying explain it. I will explain it. Sure. Anyone else who wants it to be explained? Okay, listen. So I'm explaining principle of superposition here. Here I'm explaining principle of superposition. Now listen. In this formula, what we have seen that there are two masses m1 and m2 and the force is g m1 m2 by r square. What if there are more than two masses? Like suppose I am saying that there are three masses, m1, m2 and m3. Something m1, m2 and m3 placed at A, B and C. Okay. So principle of superposition says two things. What are these two things? First thing of principle of superposition is whenever you are calculating force or the gravitational force, this is a two-body force. I'm repeating my word. This is a two-body force. That means the force acting between two body is independent of the presence of other body. The statement is clear, I hope. What I'm saying, it is two body force. Is my handwriting clear to you? It is two body force. What does it mean? It means that the force acting between any two bodies is independent of the presence of another body. That means जब दो bodies के बीच में force हम calculate करेंगे तो third body वहां पर है या नहीं है, it doesn't matter. Is the statement clear now? And it is independent of the presence of other bodies. Okay, now I am saying if you are calculating force on A due to B, that means only two bodies are involved, A and B, and but C is present, but the presence of C doesn't matter. It is not going to affect any of the forces between A and B. Clear? If I am calculating force between A and C, it is going to be unaffected by the presence of B. I hope first statement of principle of superposition is clear. The second statement or second point of principle of superposition is the net force is vector sum. I will explain, don't worry. The vector sum of all individual forces. Of all individual forces. What is this statement? This statement says, let's suppose, again coming back to the same example, I have three masses A, B, and C. Clear? And I want to calculate net force on A. This is my prime focus. I want to calculate net force on A. What I will do? Net force on A is the vector sum. What I will do? I will calculate force from B and from C. What I will do? I will calculate force on A due to B and due to C. And then after that, I will add them according to the vector rules. According to the vector rules, it can be written as force on A due to B plus force on A due to C. This is net force on A. This is the fundamental statement of principle of superposition. That means if you want to calculate net force on a body, it is going to be the vector sum of all the individual forces. Clear? मेरे पास तीन बॉडीज हैं, मुझे एक पर नेट फोर्स निकालना है तो मैं बाकी सभी बॉडीज से नेट फोर्स निकालूंगा और वेक्टर की तरह ऐड कर दूंगा. Clear statement? Now we will move towards the question based on this concept. I hope you are ready for the question. Say yes, sir, we are ready. At least say yes, sir. Because we are ready is a long statement. You can't type it quickly. For yes, sir, you can write only Y. No need to write complete yes, sir. You can write Y. For no, you can write N. I can understand that. But you should write. Okay, by solving the question, we will learn more about this concept. So there is a question on your screen. Again, there are three masses, A, B, C, and at each of these three masses, M, and M, all these masses are equal, are placed at the vertices of a triangle, which has a side 3 meter, 4 meter, and 5 meter. And what you need to calculate, you need to calculate net force at A. You need to calculate net force at A. Okay. I will give you something 50 seconds. Can I expect something from you? Say y or n, in terms of y and n, you can say I can solve or can't solve. Yes and no. I will wait for some 40-50 seconds. Kuldeep has joined. Okay, so let me see how many of you are there. Unnati, Ria, Abhay, Kuldeep, and Sargam. Okay, so Diwali is approaching. Unnati is saying not finding the answer. Okay, I will help you in that. Everyone just focus here. This is the first question based on principle of superposition. So try to understand. What is the first step? Find net force. Okay, I'm just giving you the hint. Net force at A we need to calculate. So first of all, log A. I have logged A. I need to calculate force at A. So one thing is, first of all, look at how many other masses are present nearby. You can see that B is present and C is present. Two masses are present there. Both of them will exert force on A. Are you getting my point? Just try to understand the concept. How many masses are present there after A? Because A is logged. Why A is logged? Because we want to calculate force on A. So you can say B and C, two other masses are there. So B will exert force, C will exert force. Clear? So what you can say, the net force at A is due to the B and due to C. So net force at A due to B plus net force at A due to C. This is the basic concept, principle of superposition. Now our task is to calculate all these forces. Okay. First of all, I will calculate force on A due to B. Okay, let me confirm one thing. Whenever I am writing this FAB, is it clear to you? What is FAB? What is FAC? Is this point clear to you? Or I need to explain it further that what is FAB? You can ask freely because this class is especially for you to understand the things. If you can't understand here, you can ask again and again. Okay, very good. You understand. Very good, Unnati. So FAB, if I say, it will be G and product of masses A and B, you can say A has a mass M, B has a mass M. So product of masses will be M square. Divided by separation is what? 4 meter. So that will be 16. I hope you remember the formula here. Clear? Okay. So this is the force. What will be the direction of this force? You can say this is AB, that means A to B. Or this force is always attractive. You can say that the direction of this force will be something like that. Very good. Now, next force that you need to calculate is FAC. So how you can write FAC? FAC is going to be G. Again, A has a mass M, C has a mass M. So product is again M square. Divided by separation is what? 3. 3 square is 9. Direction is what? You can say direction will be, it will be again attractive. Then direction will be this one. That is A to C. I hope both these things are clear to you. Now, we have the values of all these two forces. Now we need to add them according to the vectors rule. I hope let's suppose this force is F1, this force is F2. For simplicity, I have written it F1 and F2. So net force, do you know that how you can write net force? I hope you can remember it from the vectors chapter. The resultant between two vectors is root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, something like that. Do you remember it? The resultant of two vectors is what? Very good, Ria. Root of first vector is, I have given it a name, f1, law of cosine. Very good, Unnati. f1 square plus f2 square plus 2 f1 f2 cos theta. Very good. Now, can you tell me what is theta here? Theta is the angle between two vectors. So what are the two vectors? The angle between them will be this one, theta. Now I am just asking you a simple question. What will be the value of this theta? What will be the value of this theta? Can you identify? Anyone in the class can identify this theta? What will be the value? Because for solving the question, we need this theta. Except theta, I am putting all other values. So net force at A is equals to root of, what is the value of F1? F1 is what? Gm square by 16. Gm square by 16, that is being squared, plus F2 square is what? Gm square by 9 square. Nobody has answered yet what is going to be the value of theta. This is very fundamental triangle. I hope you should know 3 meter, 4 meter, 5 meter are the sides of a right angle triangle. Do you know that? 3 meter, 4 meter, 5 meter are the very fundamental sides. Very good, Unnati. So theta is going to be 90 degree. The side opposite to the hypotenuse, the angle opposite to the hypotenuse is 90 degree. So cos 90 is what? 0. You can say cos 90 is 0. Definitely, sir. So this is the final answer. Now it is up to you how you can simplify it. If I simplify it, you can clearly see that in the numerator, gm square can be taken as common. Gm square can be taken as common. This is just simple calculation now. Okay, Kuldeep, no problem. Okay, if you take gm square as common, so it is whole squared, so it can be taken out gm square. It can be taken out. Root of what will be remaining? In the numerator side, it will be 1 by 16 square plus 1 by 9 square. Is it clear? So gm square root of, now if you take the LCM, it will be 16 square into 9 square. This will be the LCM. And you need to cross multiply. This is just simple calculation. You can use your way, however, whatever you can use. 81 plus 256. I hope I am doing it right. Now you can calculate it. 16 and 9 can be taken out. So it can be written as gm square by 16 into 9 root of 256 plus 81. Even add these two numbers, 6 plus 1, 7, 5 and 8, I think 13, 3, and that is 3. I hope very good, Unnati. 337. Very good. So this is going to be your answer. Gm square by 16 nines are 144. I hope you can solve it. But this is going to be your answer. So I think this question is clear. This concept is basically more, it should be clear to you because the concept is important. Question is not important. I will always say you should learn the concept here. Whenever there are more than two masses, What will be your focus? First of all, lock the mass at which net force is required. Now, second step says count other masses, how many more masses are present there. Calculate individual forces from each of the other masses. Clear? Then add them according to the vector rule. This is simple. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? You can write Y or N. Everyone, be quick. Unnati has raised her hand. I think it is clear to Unnati, or you want to ask something? Very good, Unnati. Ria is saying yes. Very good, Ria. Okay. So I'm moving further for the next question. Next question will bring something new to you. Okay. Are you ready for the next question? Moving. Another question on your screen. You have some, how much time should I give? Again, some 40 seconds. In this 40 seconds, try to maximize this time of 40 seconds. Try to draw the rough diagram of the question. Nothing else, just try to draw the rough diagram of the question. Sorry. In physics, now, what is most important that after reading the question, if you can draw the diagram, draw the conditions, situations, rough it may be, you can draw roughly, but you should draw the question, because this is question of just 1 or 2 lines. Sometimes in JE, the question contains 7, 8 lines. So to remember that much content in your mind is very difficult. So what you can do, you can summarize the question by drawing something out of it, and that will help a lot. I'm not saying just about JE. In NEET, the same thing may happen. In your boards, actually, same thing will happen. When you give the board exams, like in after 1 year or so. Okay. Okay. So before moving further, I just want to confirm one more thing. From which region all of you are? Like from which JNV or which state? Pune region. Okay. Everybody is saying Pune region. Okay. Very good. Jamnagar. Jamnagar is in Gujarat, something like, yeah, if my GK is correct. Very good, Unnati. Okay, so first of all, I will draw the diagram. Question says JNV Kutch. It is also in Gujarat. Two masses M and 4M are placed at a separation of 4 meters. Okay, so first of all, I will draw two masses M, and at a distance of 4 meters, there is another mass 4M. Clear? Very good. And this separation is nothing but 4 meters. I'm not writing the unit here, just simply 4 meters. Another mass M placed between them experience no force. That means another mass is placed between them. Somewhere between them, it is not saying at the midpoint, they are saying somewhere between them, there is another mass M. This is capital M, that previous one was small m. Find its distance from small m. Okay. So the punchline in the question, can you identify the punchline of the question? Punchline of the question is experiences no force. That means this mass is not experiencing any force. This is our key point. So after highlighting the key point, I will move towards the question. What I will say, they are asking the distance from the small m. Let's suppose its distance from small m is x. Clear? Then from 4m, this distance will be 4 minus x. I hope everyone agree with that. Yes, everyone will agree. Now, this mass capital M is not experiencing any force. Can you say that I can log this mass? Because the question is basically saying that net force on capital M is zero. That means they are saying net force on capital M is zero. This is the statement of the question. Now, again, coming back to the topic, who, let's suppose this is point A, this is point B, and this is at point C. Who is exerting force on capital M? You can say, sir, A is exerting force and B is also exerting force, but the net force is zero. A is exerting force, B is exerting force, but the net force is zero. What does it mean? If you look at the diagram very closely, A will attract in this direction. B will also attract it in its direction like this, because both of them will attract it. And both of these forces should be equal so that net force is zero. Force of A and B are equal. Very good. So what you can say, force on A due force, I can write it. Let's suppose not create something very extraordinary. Let's suppose this force is F1 and this force is F2. So for simplicity, I can write F1 must be equals to F2. Just put the values. What is the value of F1? You can say G, product of masses small m and capital M, divided by what is the separation between these two is x square, is equals to, again for F2 I will say G, product of masses is 4m into capital M, divided by what is the separation, 4 minus x whole square. You can cancel few of the things here, like capital M can be cancelled. This small m and small m can be cancelled. Capital G and capital G can be cancelled. So if you transfer these things, x square will become 4 minus x square divided by 4. Just look at the statement. Look at the transfer of the data. Is it clear? Now we need to calculate x only. So what will be the value of x? I can write it here. Look at that. X will be what? You can take the under root here. So that will be 4 minus x divided by 2. Or you can write it as 2x is equals to 4 minus x, or 3x is equals to 4. X is equals to 4 by 3 meter. Is it clear to you? What I did here, if you remove this square, it will be root of whole term. If you take the under root of this one, this square will be cancelled and root of 4 will be 2. Clear? So what is the value of x? X is 4 by 3 meter. Now coming back to the topic, we need to learn something out of it. So what I can learn, we can make some punchlines here. Okay. Okay. Listen. If there are two masses, M1 and M2, this point, the mass M at which there is no force, this point C is known as neutral point. I'm repeating my statement. The point at which there is no net force, such point is known as neutral point. what it is known as neutral point. Neutral points means the point at which there is no net force. So for two masses A and B, the neutral point will be between them, like C, and C is what? Neutral point. I am writing is that NP. What is NP? Neutral point. What is neutral point? The point where there is no net force. Okay. So what is the punchline here? The punchline here is the neutral point is always close to the smaller mass. Are you getting my point? The neutral point is always close to the smaller mass. So I will say neutral point is close, or I can say closer to the smaller mass. Always remember this in your mind. Smaller mass. Like you can say x is what? 4 by 3. So can you see that this distance is much smaller than this distance? This is a smaller mass, so neutral point is closer to the smaller mass. So this can be made as a punchline that neutral point is closer to the smaller mass. I think this punchline is clear to everyone. Okay. So moving further for the next question. Okay, before moving, can you say yes or no? Is the question clear to everyone? Abhay, Kruti, both of you are just silent. Very good, Unnati. Okay, moving further for the next question. Next question on your screen. You can get some 50 seconds for this question. Again, try to draw the diagram. Are you still in the schools or you are at your home? Okay, Diwali vacations. Okay, okay. Very good. How many chapters you have completed in your schools? Like on which chapter you are currently in your schools, in your JNVs? Gravitation is about to start. Okay, okay, okay. Very good. So I think you should respond well in the classes when the chapter starts. You should be, or you all should be the number one students. Kriti has raised the hand. You want to ask something? Okay. So coming back to the question, first of all, first step is very much clear. We need to draw the diagram. There is a mass M. Okay, capital M is split into two parts. Small m. Okay, what its language is something like that. You have two mass. You have one mass, capital M, and one part you make it in. You divide it in two parts. So one part is given as small m. So other part is obviously m minus m, which are then separated by a certain distance. So you have two masses again. You have two masses. You can draw the diagram. You have two masses. Very good. One is this one, and another is this one. One is small m, another one is capital M minus small m. obviously. They are placed by a certain distance. So the distance is not given, but it is mentioned as a certain distance. That means distance is constant. It is placed at a certain distance. You need to identify the distance. Let's suppose it is r, but the distance is going to be constant in the question. What ratio m by m will maximize the gravitational force between the parts? Okay. First of all, what will be the gravitational force between them? We need to write that gravitational force. If I write, gravitational force will be G, product of masses will be m into m minus m divided by r square. Is it clear? No problem with that. Okay. Now you can again simplify it. If I simplify it, F will become G. If you multiply small m here, G by R square can be written as here. What it will be? M into capital M minus M square. Till now, I think everything is clear. No problem with anything. Now, according to the question, let's suppose, just imagine, I'm giving you certain idea about it is a rough part of the question. We can delete it after some time. Like suppose you have a block of mass 10 kg, a body of mass 10 kg, and you have broken it in two parts. One is 8 kg and another is 2 kg, obviously. Are you getting my point? So the force and placed it at a certain separation, that means fixed separation. Another time or next time you have divided in two parts. One is of 5 kg and another one is also of 5 kg. Clear? So when you calculate the force, the product of masses will be 16 in this case and product of masses will be 25 in this case. Are you getting my point? So all this thing depends on the product of masses now. That how much force will be, because separation is same. R is going to be constant. So the force depends on the product of masses. So product of masses, if the product of masses is more, then force will be more. Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Is this statement clear to you? That means the force depends on the part that you have made. You have made a part 8 and 2. You have made a part 5 and 5. So it depends on that. So that means here in this question, the mass small m is variable that you have make the part. So for maximum force, what you can write, differentiation of force with respect to the mass small m should be 0. This is the condition of maxima and minima that you have studied in the basic mathematics at the earlier stage of the physics, that for a quantity to be maximum, its differentiation with the variable quantity should be 0. So you need to differentiate this term with respect to small m. And if I differentiate it, g over r square is a constant. G over r square, okay, I can write on the next part. Okay, I can write it here. So that will be g over r square is a constant, and differentiation, if you do this differentiation, capital M is a constant. So m minus 2m is equals to 0. This g over r square can be transferred here. So what you can write, m minus 2m is equals to 0. That means m is equals to 2m. What is the ratio they are asking? Small m by capital M. So if you solve small m by capital M, it will become 1 by 2. It will become 1 by 2. This is your answer. So what you learn from this question? Two things that are very important to learn. One is the condition for maxima. This condition you should remember whenever they are asking for certain thing to be maximum or minimum, you can use this relation. Next thing, how you can identify that which is variable quantity. Certain is written here, that means this is going to be constant. Only mass is variable, the parts that you are making. Is the question clear to everyone? There might be a confusion in the differentiation part. If you have any confusion in the differentiation part, you can ask. Okay, very good, Unnati. So I'm moving further for the next question. Okay. So another question, you can take 50 seconds to solve this question. Okay, Abhay and Unnati, which exam you are targeting? Like you are specifically reading, studying for what? Like for your just CBSE things, NEET or JEE? Okay, NEET, Unnati. Abhay, what about you? Abhay, are you there? Okay. So which is your target exam, like for your CBSE, NEET or JEE? Okay, if I read the question, two particles of equal mass each move in a circle of radius r under the action of their mutual gravitation attraction. Yeah, maybe possible. Find the speed of each particle they are asking. So if I read the question and if I try to draw the diagram, there are two particles, each of mass m. Okay, first of all, I will draw two masses. These are the two masses. And both have same mass, identical mass m and n. Okay. Now they are saying these two masses are moving in a circle of radius r under the action of their mutual gravitational attraction. Okay, now here the question becomes very interesting and try to keep it in your mind. I will not take further time because class time is going to be over, but I will explain it very quickly. Whenever two bodies are there, listen to me very carefully, and they are rotating in a circular path due to their mutual gravitation, then the center of the circular path, that if it is moving in a circular path, then there must be a center of the circular path. The center of the circular path is located at the center of mass, is located at the center of mass. And if you look at these two masses, this is m, this is m, two identical masses have center of mass at the midpoint. Is it clear to everyone? So if this is mass A, this is mass B, this is going to be the center of the motion, center of the circular path, named as, I will give it a name O. So this is going to be the center. So how it will look like it will move in a circular path, something like that. Okay, if I can draw it correctly, this is a circular path. Okay, so the bodies, two bodies are moving in a circular path. This one is something like that, and this one is something like that. They are moving in a circular path. Okay, so the radius of the circular path is given as r. That means this distance is r and this distance is also r. So the total separation between the two masses will be 2r. Clear? Now, when a body moves in a circular path, there must be a centripetal force. Can you see that A will attract B? If I look at B, A will attract B. So this force is acting towards the center. So it will behave as a centripetal force. So what is the punchline here? The gravitational force will act as centripetal force. Centripetal force. So what you can write, gravitational force behaving as a centripetal force. What is the value of gravitational force? You can write it as G product of masses m square by separation. Separation, what is the separation of these two masses m and m? You can clearly see that separation is 2r. So if you square it, it will become 4r square is equals to, what is the centripetal force? Do you know the formula of centripetal force? What is the formula of centripetal force? It is, okay, I will tell you. Centripetal force is m v square by r. Here v is the velocity. This is the circular motion chapter. You must have studied it in circular motion. That centripetal force, for the formula for centripetal force is mv square by r. Like if I give you an example of centripetal force, our earth is rotating about earth. Our earth is revolving around sun. So it is moving in a circular path, right? So who is giving the necessary centripetal force? The gravitational force between earth and sun is working as a centripetal force. Are you getting my point? So centripetal force is very necessary force whenever a body moves in a circular path. So what you need to calculate in the question they are asking, find the speed of each particle. So here m can be cancelled, r can be cancelled. So what you can write, v square is equals to gm over 4r. So what will be value of v? V is root of gm by 4r. This is your answer. This is your answer. I think this is clear to you. Okay. So I think this is the time we have cleared. If you want to ask something, you can ask, or I'm just, yeah, this is the velocity for both of the bodies. Both the bodies will have same velocity because they have same mass. That's why they will have same velocity. Okay. Very good, Unnati. Keep learning, and bye for now. I'm ending the session. Thank you, Bacha.